San Diego, we are back in the purple tier. Find out what local businesses are planning to do.
And Joe Biden is building a team to fight the pandemic. Learn more about it in our lead report.
And the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show is set. Find out who is performing in entertainment.
Also, tonight, strong winds and big waves continue to impact part of our county. Details coming up.
Newscene starts now. Hello, I'm Devon Doane, and we continue to work remotely to bring you the latest news of the week. We start tonight's show with a look at COVID-19 cases in San Diego and across the state. Earlier this week, California became the second state to top 1 million cases. San Diego County reported 620 new cases in its latest release of data, and with 3 more deaths, the total number of lives lost is 918. The county also shared new data on which cities have been impacted most by COVID-19. Among the most impacted areas is El Cajon, which has a case rate of over 24 per 100,000 residents. For reference, for San Diego County to move back out of the purple tier, the whole region must be below 7. And those purple tier restrictions will kick in tonight at midnight, but small business owners across the county have made a bold decision to defy orders. Among those struggling are restaurant owners. They want to keep indoor dining open. But Public Health Officer Wilma Wooten says that while she knows we're all struggling with COVID fatigue, we must stay on course.
We recognize that people are developing COVID-19 fatigue. People are just fed up, and we understand that. We are too, to be quite honest with you. But we have to stay the course, and we have to do what we know works.
But there is some hope coming from one of the nation's drug companies. A COVID vaccine is in its final trials of testing. Pfizer has developed a solution that could be cleared for emergency use by the FDA before the end of the year. The vaccine is still waiting on its late-stage data, but the company has stated its goal is to distribute 1.3 billion doses in 2021. This great news has many optimistic for the future, including Dr. Fauci, who stresses the need to be more diligent than ever on protective measures.
Now we need to double down on the public health measures as we're waiting for the vaccine to come and help us out.
And a vaccine is welcoming news for Biden and the team he's assembling to tackle the pandemic. Zach, what is Biden's plan?
Thanks, Devin. The president-elect has made combating the pandemic his top priority. Just 2 days after being declared the next president, Biden vowed to turn the pandemic around. And he wants vaccines, like the one we told you about earlier from Pfizer, to be distributed free of charge.
I will spare no effort to turn this pandemic around once we're sworn in on January 20th. To get our kids back to school safely, our businesses growing, and our economy running at full speed again, and to get an approved vaccine manufactured and distributed as quickly as possible to as many Americans as possible, free of charge.
Biden also announced a COVID-19 advisory board that will include public health officials and infectious disease researchers.
Today, I've named a COVID-19 Transition Advisory Board, comprised of distinguished public health experts, to help our transition team translate the Biden-Harris COVID-19 plan into action, a blueprint that we can put in place as soon as Kamala and I are sworn in to office on January 20th, 2021. This group will advise on detailed plans built on a bedrock of science and to keep compassion, empathy, and care for every American at its core.
A longtime political ally of Biden named Claine has accepted the position as his chief of staff. He was previously known for being the White House Ebola response coordinator under President Obama. With a new plan and a new team assembled, Biden looks to be prepared to tackle the pandemic as soon as he is inaugurated. That comes on January 20th. We'll continue to follow this story as that date draws closer. For now, back to you, Devin.
And leaders from all over the world are sharing their congratulations with the president-elect. Prominent figures like Pope Francis have sent their well wishes and support, but a few have openly held off on offering their congratulations. That includes Mexico's President Andrés Manuel Lopez Obrador. AMLO has referenced his own 2006 defeat for Mexico's presidency when making his case for waiting. And President Trump has taken to the courts and social media in the days since the election. The president went in falsely claiming voter fraud and tampering in at least 5 states. Nearly 20 lawsuits have been filed by the president's lawyers. A handful have already been dismissed, with more decisions expected in the coming days. And another political figure is making the most of his recent win. San Diego Mayor-elect Todd Gloria is rolling out his list of priorities for his tenure. In a recent interview with the New York Times, the mayor-elect wants to provide San Diegans with more middle-income housing. Gloria also plans to redirect spending on homeless shelters to make a bigger impact. And switching gears to local sports news, the Padres season didn't end the way that we all wanted, but there's still hope for the future. Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. came up short in the MVP race, finishing 3rd and 4th on the list. It's the first time 2 Padres players have ended up in the top 10 of voting since 1998. The Padres recorded their first winning season since 2010. And from baseball to football, the NFL has made a big announcement about this year's Super Bowl, and it has nothing to do with the game. Noelle, give us something to look forward to, huh?
Yes, Devon. The Super Bowl has its halftime headliner. The NFL has announced that music superstar The Weeknd will take the stage for the Super Bowl halftime show on February 7th. The game will be played at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. But don't expect your usual Super Bowl. It will be a scaled-back event with only 20% of the seats being filled. And when you do finally return to a live concert, Ticketmaster will be asking for more than just your credit card information when you attend a show. The company plans to ask if you have been screened for COVID-19 at the door to your favorite venue. Customers will use their cell phone to share that they have either been tested recently or received a vaccination available. Some details are still being worked out, but expect all of this to be tied to the Ticketmaster app soon. And finally, the game show world has lost its biggest and brightest star this week.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Trebek. NASA is seeking
Alex Trebek, the host of the TV game show Jeopardy, lost his battle with pancreatic cancer earlier this week. Trebek had been battling since 2019 when he was first diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He hosted over 8,200 episodes over 5 decades. That is the most ever for a game show presenter. Through his cancer battle, the 80-year-old continued to host Jeopardy! He filmed his final episode only 2 weeks ago. Episodes featuring Trebek will air all the way through Christmas Day. Trebek was a hero of mine, and he'll be greatly missed. Back to you, Devon.
Thank you, Noelle. I'll be sure to catch one of those episodes. Switching gears, waves on our coast are expected to be over 6 feet high Sunday and Monday morning. Flooding is expected for San Diego coastal communities due to the massive swell. King tides occur as a result of strong gravitational pull from the moon. The large tides offer insight into what our future tide levels could look like as sea levels rise. From high tides to strong winds and a warming trend, there's lots of changes in our weather. Jesus, tell us the latest.
Thanks, Devon. That's right. We do have a lot to talk about, and hello to everyone watching. And let's dive right into our weather forecast with headlines. We do have a king tide or high tide, which will lead to some coastal flooding and strong onshore winds as well. And last but not least, we do have a brief warming trend, but I'll tell you at the end of our forecast. In the meantime, current conditions are on the cooler side, so if you're going to walk the dog, make sure you're grabbing that sweater. Temperatures are in the 60s, plenty of sunshine throughout our county, a few high clouds, but nothing to worry about. In the mountain community, though, temperatures are in the 50s, and the moment the sun goes down, so will those temperatures. So there will be a brisk kind of night, a sweater, hot chocolate, even the fireplace, a beautiful night, but it will be on the cooler side as well. For our national forecast, we do have some rain in the East Coast. That's all due to a cold front. It's the cold front season already. It's fall, leading into winter. Now, for the Great Plains, we do have rain as well, associated with a cold front and a low pressure. But if we travel to the West Coast, the best coast, our coast, we do have some wind situation, onshore winds here in our coast. And it will be getting stronger as they push inland. By the western valleys, you can expect gusts of up to 45 miles per hour. So if you have a high profile vehicle, make sure you're driving with a lot of caution. Now, everything will change by the weekend because we do have a high pressure will expand and it will give us those warmer temperatures. But then by the middle of next week, the cold front you see in the screen, the cold front will dip south and the temperatures will also dip along with it. For our current temperatures tonight, temperatures will be in the 50s, 52 for San Diego. Even for Imperial Beach, those temperatures will be in the lower 50s. So make sure if you're taking a walk along the coast, you grab that sweater and also those long johns because it will be kind of cold kind of night. For the mountains community, temperatures will also be in the mid to upper 40s. As we go along and we see the extended forecast, look at those roller coaster of temperatures. We see an increase in temperatures. A nice weekend ahead with mainly sunny conditions. And then by the midweek next week, Wednesday, temperatures are back to seasonal, 75 degrees. That's all with weather. Back to you.
Thank you, Jesus. With all this beautiful weather, it's hard to imagine Thanksgiving is less than 2 weeks away. To get us ready, state officials have shared a list of guidelines for the upcoming holidays. Gatherings of more than 3 households are prohibited and should be no longer than 2 hours. Residents are also encouraged to move gatherings outside. We also should wear a mask and continue to socially distance. And finally, tonight, a Boston neighborhood is being terrorized by a turkey? Hyde Park residents have reported being attacked by a wild turkey nicknamed Oscar. The Tom is injuring people with his feet, chasing residents down, and even interfering with traffic. Residents claim the turkey has been around for months. One thing is for sure, it won't have a happy Thanksgiving. Not with that attitude. That's all we have for tonight. This has been Devon Doane with Newscene. Good evening.